Imagine a flying building. Not a small house, but a 6-story structure soaring through the clouds. This isn't science fiction. This is the C-5M Super Galaxy. It is the largest aircraft in the United States Air Force inventory, and frankly, it is a monster. When you see it on the tarmac, your brain struggles to comprehend the size. The tail alone is over 65 feet tall. That is higher than most apartment complexes. The wingspan? It stretches 222 feet. You could park a fleet of cars on its wings and still have room to walk. But why does this thing exist? Why do we need a plane this big? Today, we are going deep. We are going to explore the engineering, the sheer power, and the secrets inside this aluminum giant. Buckle up, because we are taking a ride on the heavyweight champion of the world. Let's talk about noise. If you have ever stood near a runway when a C-5 takes off, you feel it in your chest. But the M in C-5M stands for modernized, and the heart of that modernization is the engines. The old versions of this plane were loud, but the new Super Galaxy rocks 4 General Electric CF6-80C2 engines. These are the same massive engines you find on Air Force One. Together, they produce nearly 200,000 pounds of thrust. Think about that number, 200,000 pounds. That is enough power to push a fully loaded plane weighing nearly 1,000,000 pounds straight into the sky. It climbs faster and flies quieter than its predecessors. When those pilots push the throttle forward, it's not just taking off, it is conquering gravity through brute force.
But the engines are just the muscle. The real magic is the stomach of this beast, the cargo hold. Open the nose visor, which looks like a shark opening its jaw, and you are staring into a tunnel that seems to go on forever. Here's a fact that always blows my mind. The cargo floor of the C-5M is actually longer than the entire first flight of the Wright brothers. That is right, the entire history of aviation started with a flight shorter than the inside of this plane. It is designed for one thing: heavy lifting. We are talking about carrying 2 M1 Abrams main battle tanks simultaneously, or 6 Apache helicopters, or 250,000 pounds of humanitarian aid. The plane has a trick up its sleeve, too. It can kneel. The landing gear has a hydraulic system that lowers the plane closer to the ground, allowing trucks and tanks to drive straight in and drive straight out the back. It's the ultimate drive-through logistics hub. Supporting all this weight is a marvel of engineering in itself: the landing gear. The Super Galaxy sits on 28 wheels. Why so many? Because the weight of this aircraft is so immense that if it had normal landing gear, it would crush the concrete of the runway. These 28 wheels distribute the weight, allowing the C-5 to land on relatively rough airfields if needed. During landing, the tires smoke and screech as they take the impact of a falling skyscraper. Watching the touch-and-go maneuvers is like watching a ballet performed by a sumo wrestler. It shouldn't look this graceful, but somehow it does.
The Galaxy in its name isn't just for show. It represents global reach. This plane can take off from Dover Air Force Base in Delaware and land in Turkey without stopping. But what if it needs to go further? That is where aerial refueling comes in. The C-5M can be refueled in mid-air. Imagine piloting a plane this size and trying to connect a fuel boom to a tanker flying just a few feet above you at hundreds of miles per hour. It requires nerves of steel. With mid-air refueling, the range of the C-5M is effectively unlimited. The only limit is the endurance of the crew. It can take equipment from the US and drop it anywhere on the planet within hours. That is a capability that changes how wars are fought and how disaster relief is delivered.
Now, look at this footage. This is rare. This is called an elephant walk. Seeing one C-5 is impressive. Seeing a line of them taxiing together is terrifying for the enemy. When the Air Force lines them up like this, it is a show of force. It demonstrates that they can launch a massive fleet at a moment's notice. Just calculate the cost sitting on that runway. Billions of dollars of technology ready to launch. It is a visual representation of logistical dominance.
Flying the C-5M is a unique experience for the pilots. You are sitting 3 stories up in the air. The cockpit is huge. It actually has a sleeping area and a small galley for the crew because missions can last for days. This aircraft has been the backbone of American strategic airlift for decades, and with the M upgrade, it is going to keep flying until the 2040s. It has carried hope in the form of food and medicine, and it has carried power in the form of tanks and troops. It is big, it is loud, and it is undeniably cool. In a world of stealth fighters and drones, there is still something special about a giant, heavy lifter that blots out the sun. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the C-5M super galaxy. If you enjoyed this long-form breakdown, make sure to hit that like button. Let me know in the comments, what is the most impressive aircraft ever built? I will see you in the next video.